Hey, what's up, my guys and geeks? We're back with more Percy Jackson content as we build our way to the Percy Jackson TV series at the end of December. Today, I decided I was gonna go through and I was gonna list out the top 5 things I want to see in the Percy Jackson TV series. Let's do this! Alright, before I get started with this video, of course this is just my list, it's not the right list by any means. Be sure to give me your things you want to see in the comments down below. And for this list, I'm focusing on the first book, since that's what the first season will be about. And I'm focusing on things specifically that either weren't fully explored in the book as much as I like, or were not present in the movie. So none of this is going to be stuff that we've already seen the movie mess up that needs to be better done. This is just going to be stuff that was completely left out of the films. 5th place, Chiron's wheelchair transformation. And the movies really dropped the ball on this one. We get to see Chiron in a wheelchair once during the museum scene.
Percy, take this to defend yourself.
And then we don't do any of the time where Percy's back at Yancey Academy and he's worrying about getting expelled and being confused about why everybody doesn't remember. So we never see Chiron in a wheelchair again. And then he's at Camp Half-Blood and he's already in his centaur form.
Real horses.
And it was such a powerful moment in the first book where you get to see Chiron transform, where you get to see him raise up from the wheelchair and his legs become those of a horse and he transforms into a centaur and his true form is revealed. And it's just a great moment that the films completely left out. So far in the trailers, we've seen Chiron in his wheelchair and with his horse's legs, and we haven't seen any hints of his transformation. So I'm hoping that the TV series remembers to do that, because that was just a really awesome moment. I remember the first time I read the books.
That was totally wicked!
Next up, in 4th place, we've got the zebra car ride. And this is taking place after they've met up with Ares and after they've done their errand for him. So it was obviously not in the movies because they didn't even include Ares there.
I had one job.
But this is where they're riding on the way from wherever they met with Ares, on their way, keeping on their journey to Los Angeles. And we get to see a lot of interesting things. There's a lot of interesting stuff that happens even in just this seemingly insignificant little chapter about them hitching a ride with basically these animal traffickers. We get to find out that Percy can speak to horses, which is a cool part of his powers that the movies never really explored, and something that comes up again and again in the books and is a very interesting power that he has that's really kind of out of pocket. We also get to see Grover's, some of his abilities. He communicates with the animals and also puts a protection over them that allows anything natural to have safe passage and prosperity. And I think that's interesting to get to see how the films didn't really portray Grover as having a lot of powers.
The daughters of Aphrodite, mother's the goddess of love, so you know where that leads.
But he has a lot of nature-related abilities in the books that I definitely want to see. So just part of that. But the whole zebra car ride is just funny. It's interesting, and I enjoy it. And I think we are going to be getting it because you may not have seen, they released the list of episode names for the first season, and one of them is something about taking a car ride with a zebra. So I think we're going to get to see this one. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Next up, in 3rd place, we've got the Tunnel of Love fight scene. Well, it's not so much a fight scene. It's when Annabeth and Percy and Grover go on their errand for Ares, and basically they're supposed to pick up Ares' shield, which he left behind in the Tunnel of Love when he was meeting up with Aphrodite, and there was a trap left there by Hephaestus, and basically Percy and Annabeth end up triggering it, and they have to escape with the shield while all these mechanical spiders, I believe, are coming after them.
Spiders.
Spiders! And it's an interesting scene. It's a fun scene with a bit of action and suspense engaged in it. You also get to find out about Annabeth's fear of spiders and all children of Athena and their deadly weakness to spiders, which comes back in a big way in the Heroes of Olympus series. But it's just an interesting scene, and I think it would be a lot of fun, and I definitely want to see it.
Enough said.
Alright, before I go ahead and give you my top 2 things I want to see in the Percy Jackson TV series, be sure to give me your list in the comments down below. Let me know what you want to see and what you're hoping they'll improve upon from the movies. And if you would go on to enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe with the bell. But alright, in second place, Annabeth's backstory explained. And really, this kind of bleeds throughout all the books because I really want to see Annabeth and Luke's backstories explained, but I realized a lot of Luke's backstory is not explained until some of the later books, so that'll be left for future seasons, praying that they happen. But Annabeth's backstory, how she ran away from home and how she arrived at camp and how she's been there longer than all the other campers, is something that the movies completely missed out on. They really left a lot off of Annabeth's character development, and I think that her backstory provides a lot of information about the way she acts, the way she does, about how she hasn't really been able to go out on quests, how she wants to prove herself. There's just so much about Annabeth's character that they left out of the movies that I really want to see the series do right. I really want them to make Annabeth an interesting and compelling character because she really wasn't in the movies. So I'm just hoping that they do that and that they incorporate her backstory and really flesh out her character so you get to know her better. But my number 1 pick is Grover's age explored. And this is something I briefly mentioned in my video breaking down my top 5 Percy Jackson characters, full video by clicking the card somewhere up here. But I talked about how Grover is technically double the age of Percy and Annabeth. He's like 26, I think, when the series starts, while they're 12. But because satyrs age/mature half as fast as humans, he just looks like an older middle schooler and has the maturity of a middle schooler or even someone younger.
Wait, which one of y'all proposed to?
And I think that's something incredibly interesting that not only the movies didn't explore, but that the books didn't explore as much as I would want to. I feel like there's a lot of potential there for interesting storylines and interesting points of view and getting to really explore what it's like maturing so slow while having all these experiences. I think it provides an interesting aspect of Grover's character that can be explored a lot, and I think it would make it interesting to see how he responds to different situations, because obviously he's going to have more knowledge, he's going to have experienced more things, but he's still going to have the maturity of a reasonably young child. So I think it's very interesting to see how all those experiences and that lack of maturity in some ways balance each other out and how that's carried out throughout the story. But alright, those are my top 5 things I want to see in the Percy Jackson TV show. Be sure to give me some of yours in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the next awesome Percy Jackson video I upload. If you want to see what would have happened if Barty Crouch Jr. from Harry Potter didn't get the Dementor's kiss, you can click on this side of the screen. And if you want to see why Harry Potter and Percy Jackson take place in the same universe, you can click on this side of the screen. But you've only got 3 seconds because this video is about to end. Adios!